Alright guys, back here in the master bathroom. So I think what you last saw was doing the shower pan and plumbing in the shower. That is all done. I've got everything insulated and ready to close up the walls. So that is what we're gonna do today. Okay, so to get us started, we have this section of ceiling here. It is not a full 8-foot span. Gonna have to be cut and then also cut around this vent. I am doing this by myself, so I'm gonna try to do a few tricks here. I've got a kind of a ledger board screwed in over here that I can set that end up on top of and then lift this end up, and that will hold it there while I screw in a few screws over here, and then I go over here and screw it in over here. We'll see how that goes. Time will tell. So there are tons of good YouTube videos on how to do drywall. I'm just going to show you the basics. Right now what I'm doing is I'm cutting the piece of drywall to length. I think it was 76 7/8 to make the span from there to there. And then I'm also going to measure and cut it for this vent. So I'm going to measure from this edge to here and this edge to here, transcribe that measurement to my piece of drywall, and then measure this little distance right here and transcribe it, and then I can cut out that little piece and the piece of drywall will fit right in around it. When you're cutting drywall, you just need to cut the paper. What you'll see me do here is I'm going to walk around and kind of give it a little punch on the back side, on the other side of the cut, and it's going to cause the drywall to open up, and then you just take your knife on the back side and cut the paper on the back side. So this drywall sheet is going to go with the side you see on your left. On the ceiling, it's going to go by the vent, and the side that you see on the right will be towards the back wall where that ledger board is at. So we're going to transcribe on the left side of this board where that vent cutout needs to be. So from the side wall to the close side of the vent is 36 inches. And then the side wall to the far side of the vent is 46 3/8. The last measurement we need is the depth of that vent. We have the width, now we need the depth, and that is going to be 3 1/8. What you'll see me do here, I'm going to cut the shorter pieces of that cutout, which are the top and the bottom, and then I'll do the same technique I did to cut the length of the board. To do this one here, I'll just cut the paper and give it a little pressure, and it should fold back, and then I can cut it out. Okay, so this is ready to go. Got our cutout for around the vent. Board is cut for length. And now we just need to get it up there. So here we go. Okay, something I thought of to do to help myself so that I'm not getting up there and trying to get screws on the drill and then put them in is I measured where the rafters are up in the ceiling and just put a few screws partially in so that once I get it up there, it's ready to go. I just stick the drill on and go, and I'm not holding it awkwardly. Hopefully that will help. Okay, so we are on to the next panel on the ceiling. As you can see, we're gonna have a few things to cut out. A little strip's gonna go here around. This wall is like 1.5 inches deeper than this wall. And then the other thing that I want to show you is we have the stub out for the rain shower head right here, and how I'm gonna make sure I get the right spot for that. Okay, so for the shower stub out, I measured off of this edge of this board here, 37.25, I believe, to the center, and then from the back wall to the center of the stub out, and that will pinpoint where I need to drill my hole. And that's right here on my board. So I'm just going to use a hole saw and drill a hole big enough diameter to fit that stub out through. And then all we have left is this little strip here. And then the ceiling will be done and we can go on to the walls. So right here, what I'm doing is getting the measurements for all of the parts in the wall that I'm gonna have to cut out in the drywall. So outlet boxes, light boxes, stub outs for water supply and drain lines. And I got the measurements from the right side, closer to the window over there, the exterior wall, because that's the fixed position over there. And I pulled everything from that wall and also from the ceiling and down. And I'm going to transfer those measurements onto my piece of drywall, cut them out, and hopefully as I put the drywall back up, those will fit right into place. So what I'm doing here, I've got a line 4 foot down from the ceiling, which is where the bottom of the sheetrock should hit. I'm going to put in a couple of nails just below that line to hold up the board when I set it up there, and that way I can get it screwed in place. Sometimes I like to use the Sawzall to cut out an opening. It's easier on the door when you don't have anything behind it, as opposed to the window when you have the actual window behind the drywall, so the blade will hit it. So doors are easy to use that Sawzall to get through. And then once you get the two sides cut, just go cut the back side of the drywall with your knife at the very top of the door frame. Fold it back towards you and cut the other side of the paper, and it should come right off. Okay, so just a few things here. When you're putting your screws in, it's not a good example. Right here is a good example. I'm not sure how well you can see that, but what you want is the head of the screw just sunk below the surface of the drywall paper so that there's nothing sticking out of the drywall. And you don't want it to go all the way through the paper. Here's an example of that. That one's a little too far. I'll show you another one right here. That's too far. I actually did it twice, but if you do one too far, it's okay. Just next to it, put one in the proper depth so it holds that spot. It's not a big deal, but you've got to make sure that you don't leave just a screw that's too deep, because if you go too far through the drywall, it won't hold the drywall in place. That screw has to be holding the paper, but if it breaks through the paper, it's no longer going to secure the drywall. So there is a correct depth just below the surface of the drywall, but you can't break through the paper. There are drywall screw guns. I have one, but I've never been good at using it. So I've been using the impact driver. I see a lot of people do that on YouTube, and seems to work well. You just got to be very careful about once you get in the screw close to the surface of the drywall, kind of let off the trigger a little bit and work it in, because again, you don't want to bust through that paper. For the walls, I'm using 1¼ inch screws, and for the ceiling I used 1 5/8 to get a little bit better hold on the ceiling. Hey guys, this is Matt from the future. I'm editing this video and I just wanted to show you the drywall screw gun that I said in the original video that I didn't like to use. Pulled it out, tried it again, loved it. So let me show you how to use it. Okay, the way it works is this little gun has, I think it's a clutch in there. I don't know how the mechanics of it work, but you pull the trigger. I'm not sure you can see there, but when I pull the trigger, the tip does not spin. So it's stationary. So you can hold that trigger down and then place a screw over it and just fine. It's not until you go to put it into the wall and apply pressure, you can see there's a little spring action there. Once you apply pressure forward, the clutch will kick in and it will drive the screw into the wall. So it's kind of loud. So here we go. Just like that. One more time. Just like that. And you can also use the thing here to set the depth so that your screws get, like we talked about before, just below the surface of the paper. There we go. Alright guys, it has been a while. Took about 2 months off, had some stuff going on with my schedule where I wasn't able to work, but I just wanted to give you an update. Where that video left off, we had just finished this door, so as you can see, this is all drywalled in. And then if I come over here, you can even see I've got the shower done. That's probably the next video to come. So that's all hardy backer, so stay tuned for that. Into here. And now we're in kind of the master closet area. This is one of the next projects I've got to do here. Gonna build a wall out this way and this way. Then we will drywall all of that. And once that's done, we can do mud and tape on all the drywall. Alright guys, that is going to wrap up this video on doing the drywall. I'm not going to show drywalling the other wall that I frame in. You get the idea. So stay tuned for, like I said, the shower will probably be the next video that I put out. Hopefully I can get back to a little bit more regularity and get you guys a little bit more content on the progress of this whole bathroom. So I appreciate you guys following along. Stay tuned for the next one.